Hi guys, welcome to another Molly lineup guide. This time for the map Fracture. I have all these lineups documented in a doc, which I'll link below, so make sure to check it out. Let's get it. Let's start out here on A site. I'm going to go by plant spots and show you different lineups for each plant spot. First plant spot would be here, A close plant spot default kind of open. And so there's two lineups that I came up for this. One is here you come CT, but you just gotta be really careful about the rotates. You can use smoke to hide from the rotates if you want. So you line up yourself with this edge of the wall here. And then you line up the Molly shoot assist icon with this little corner of the paper. Just right there, you see the white part? You line up the left side of that line to that little white part. And so you shoot it. Molly! Now bounce behind the wall. Lands perfectly on the bomb. Okay, another lineup is here, right by dish. Right you wedge yourself in this small corner. And then you line up with this color changing portion. So this little corner right here, you line up at the bottom corner of the squiggly HUD line with the flat HUD line right here. So you line up the corner to that corner right there. Shoot it. Clears this roof. Should land perfectly on the bomb. Next plant spot would be for another default, which I've seen a lot of people plant, is because if you plant right back here, enemies cannot wallbang you through this wall, but they can certainly wallbang you through this radiant night box. Therefore, I see a lot of people decide to stay safe and plant from right here. And I have two lineup spots for that as well. And so both of these are from the same spot here. What happened is you line yourself up with this line on the wall. Okay. And then there's an opening in the ceiling. And so there's a fast landing one and a slow landing one. So this one would be the slow landing one. And you basically line them up the same, just two different rectangles. So first one would be you line up with the top rectangle, which is slower one. More accurate though, actually. You line up the bottom left of the left HUD line to that little box, and then you jump and shoot. Make sure you shoot at the maximum height of your jump here. It'll just bounce and lands perfectly, covering this plant spot. Next up, same spot here. You just walk into the line. Again, you line up the bottom left of the left HUD line to this time to the bottom rectangle, just like this, right? And then you jump and shoot. Okay. This time, this one lands a lot faster, and it also covers this plant spot. Next one would be more planted towards the middle of the site right here. Same around the default area, but like this one's more towards the back here. So the lineup spot is all the way out a hall. However, this lineup, you would not be able to hear the bomb or the defuse. So you just have to feel it out. You're just barely in range for ulting the bomb right here. And so you just have to feel it out of whether or not they're diffusing. So what happened is you line up with this little corner right here with the curved pipe and this little white line here. You line up the right dot of the smoke icon to that little corner, and then you just shoot it. And this one should just land perfectly, covering this corner and this entire area right here. Next plant spot will be planted underneath the site in this back corner here. So the first lineup would be from this corner. You wedge yourself in this corner, and then you line up the line between the stim beacon icon and the smoke and the Molly icon to this top corner over here. The beams, line up the left side of that line to that corner, then you just shoot it. This one just clears the roof. and bounces and lands perfectly covering this entire bomb. Another lineup for this plant is right here. You just stand right here along this wall and then just scoot yourself all the way back, then line up your crosshair to the bomb, and you just have your crosshair with the horizontal line right here, the first one. Shoot it. Should just directly to the bomb, covering that plant spot. So for the next plant spot, it will be for top site right here in the corner behind the panels. First lineup for that spot would be from over here above ropes, right here in this corner. You just have to wedge yourself in the corner between the box and the wall. You gotta be careful about people coming from CT. And what happened is this, for this lineup, you line up with the top corner of this building right here. So you just have your crosshair right here. Make sure your crosshair is lined up between the left edge and the top edge of this building. Crouch, make sure you're crouched, and then shoot. Crouch and shoot. And it will land perfectly covering this large portion of the site. Next up would be from dish over here, from this little corner again. So what happened is you wedge yourself in this corner, and then you'll use this little corner of the dark gray area as a reference point. Line up with the left side of the line between stim beacon and molly icon to that little corner. This one lands fast, and so you just shoot it. It'll bounce off the back wall, back panel, and then lands, covers the bomb right there. Okay. Next up, same spot, but this time it's a slower one. And so this time you line up with this the right side of this little white dot on the edge of the building here. You line up the bottom left of the left HUD line to the right edge of that white dot. Have it like overlap a little bit. Shoot it. Bounce. Bounce. And lands perfectly covering the plant spot. Next up would be a lineup made by ZadBag on stream with me actually. So what happened is you line up yourself with the middle of this little Pokeball looking like thing, this electric panel, keypad thing. You line yourself up with the middle of it, and then you line up at the very top of this satellite dish right here. You line up the shoot assist icon crosshair. Okay, right there, it's just right above it. And then you just shoot it. And then this one also bounces off the back and perfectly covers the bomb. Next up would be a lineup found by Indignation. And then what happens, you just walk towards the wall between the metal part and then the rock part right here, the changing part. Walk towards the wall, and then you line up your crosshair with the top of this building, and then you just move it a little bit to the right here. Then you just shoot it. And this one bounces off the side of the building and then lands perfectly covering this defuse. For next plant spot, it will be this top site again, but this time you plant it right above the stairs, right next to this box over here. And again, same thing, you come back to dish, wedge yourself in this corner here, and this time you have your crosshair just aim right here in this corner at this little slanted edge, the side of the building, and then the top of the roof right here. You have your crosshair just aiming right here. Shoot it, and then it should bounce off this wall and lands perfectly at this box. Last but not least on A site would be planted in this back corner, and I have 3 lineup spots for this plant. First one would be, again, you come above ropes here, and then so you wedge yourself in this corner. Again, you have to crouch, make sure you crouch, and then you line up with this, your crosshair with this corner here. Make sure the vertical portion lines up with this side of the gray pillar, I guess. Okay, so you just have your crosshair in the corner here, line up, make sure it lines up with the left side of that gray part. Shoot it. It should bounce off the wall and covers majority of the site as well as the bomb right there. Next up would be in this corner right by a door. Again, you wedge yourself in this corner right by the door. And this time you use the molly icon to line up with the bottom corner of this little thing right here. Top of the building, I guess. Molly. Shoot it. And this one goes perfectly, bounce off the side of the wall, and then perfectly on the bottom as well. And last one would be another fancy one, and this one is kind of hard. Okay, so you just gotta practice it. Make sure you practice it. So this one you line up with the right side of this fracture of the map here. You line yourself up with the right side of the fracture, and then you line up your crosshair to about right here. Just make sure you line up your crosshair horizontal part with this black line right next to this wire thing. At the same time, you have the molly shoot assist icon, the top left corner, about right here in this corner. So I'll show you like this. Your crosshair is on the gray line you see, and then top of the molly shoot assist icon, the little rectangle, top left part of the rectangle to that little corner of the color changing portion. Molly. Shoot it, and it should bounce off the back right here and lands perfectly for this bomb plant. And that's it for A site. Let's move on to B site. So here on B site, the first plant spot I'm going to show you guys is planted right here at dice. Kind of safe in that area. You can smoke it off and just plant it out right away. And most of the time, when you're pushing inside, these two openings should be smoked off already anyways. So what happened is you wedge yourself in this corner between the box and this wall, and then you line up the molly shoot assist icon, the bottom inverse triangle, to the corner of this light panel right here. So I'm going to show you just like this. Line up inverse triangle to that corner, shoot it. It land perfectly on the bomb. Next up, for that same plant spot, there's another one farther back, which you'll just wedge yourself in this corner. This time you see there's these two dark areas, little dark areas on the, I don't know what this is called, like underneath this window. And so you line up the top squiggly to the left dark area right here underneath the left side, the left hot line squiggly to the left of the dark area, like this, and then you shoot it. It should also bounce and land very quickly. The next plant spot is you plant along this slanted wall right here, and there's a lineup underneath a tower here right by the ropes is where you wedge yourself in this corner, and this time you use these moss in this roof as reference, and you use this first one right here. You line up the bottom left hut line, you overlap it just a little bit over that moss and the line, the roof tile right here. You have it overlap a little bit from over here. Overlap it just a little bit, just like that, and then you shoot it. And it should just bounce and lands really quickly for this bomb plant. For the next plant spot, there's 3 lineups for this, is which you plant for the back wall pocket right here. And
plant the spike.
These lineup spots would work for either these corners. So let me show you these lineups. So the first lineup would be in this corner. You wedge yourself in this corner right here. Again, you line up your crosshair with this leaf right here, the second leaf right here. So second farthest to the left leaf, and then the second one over. You line up your crosshair just a little bit above it. You see? The crosshair is just a little bit above it. And you just shoot it.
Molly.
And it should theoretically land perfectly on the bomb, just like that. Okay? It's a little iffy though for this lineup. Sometimes it bounces weird in these little moss thingies. So you just make sure you have to practice it. Okay, next up would be for this lineup is you line up with with the middle of these two boxes right here, and then make sure you crouch right next to it. So you line up yourself with the middle of these two boxes, crouch and walk into it, and then you line up the line between Stim Beacon icon and Molly icon to the top, the left side of that line to the top corner of this pillar. The top corner right there, just touching it a little bit. Shoot it. Should clear and lands perfectly, covering this whole area with that two corner covered as well. And another lineup is actually from bottom stairs right here. So what happened is with this lineup, you
right here,
wedge yourself in this little corner, and then you line up with this corner here of I don't know what you call this. I have no idea. Just the top of that corner. you just move it a little bit to the right here. You line up your crosshair with that corner, move it a little bit to the right. And this one's also found by White Lotus, and then you just shoot it. Bounce out back wall. And lands perfectly, covering even this one even covers this back corner as well. Perfect. For the next lineup spot, it would be for planted right here. Very open dice, okay? And this way it's easy to defend when you're doing lineups from over here, and then you just come around, defend it really easily. So the first lineup spot for that would be, again, wedge yourself in this corner, and this time you line up with this very top of this leaf over here, okay? Line up the top squiggly to that leaf like that, and then you just shoot it.
Ollie.
Lands perfectly for this spike. Okay, next up would be right here, which is a little safer, I think, because like people from ropes can't peek you like they can for that angle. At the same time, people walking over here can't see your little head peeking above these boxes. Okay, so you line yourself up with this rope here, and you walk towards the wall until you can't anymore, and then you line you line up with the top edge of this wall. You line up the crosshair within the Molly shoot assist icon to that, just right above that edge, and then you just right above it, right? Shoot it. And it also lands perfectly, covering the bomb plant. Last but not least,
got the spike. For
this other plant here on B site, is for planted underneath this little stairs in that corner right there. So the first lineup spot for that would be right here, coming down all the way down to bottom stairs.
Right here.
And you'll use this corner as reference. You line yourself up with this corner, and then you line up your bottom left hut line to the bottom right of this little corner here, and then you just shoot it.
Ollie.
Bounce perfectly, covering this spot. Another lineup, and this is probably the fanciest lineup spot for this map, okay? Probably most dangerous and hard to line up, but you know, I'm gonna include this as the very last lineup in this video here. So what happened is you come over here, there's a little opening in this hallway, okay? Very dangerous because enemy could be rotating from there, but if you can pull it off, look freaking amazing, okay? So you line yourself up with the bottom, with this little green dot, okay? You line up with the bottom left of the green dot. So you look all the way down, walk towards it until your crosshair is at about the bottom left of it, okay? And then what happened is you line up with this vine, okay? You line up the right side of the line between Molly icon and smoke icon to that vine, that leaf vine, okay? Like this, overlap it a little bit, then you just shoot it.
Molly.
And it should clear this pipes and lands very quickly for this bomb plant. Since we've recorded this in a public beta testing environment, I've yet to gather a lot of clips of me pulling some of these off. Hope these lineups will help you in the upcoming act and that you can get some sick clutches from them to surprise your teammates and enemies. I'll roll a few clips that I got playing the PvE. Hope you enjoy and hope to catch you live on stream watching me pulling some of these off as well. Peace!
No way you have lineups, dude. No. Cap. That's cap. That's so cap.
That's a kill rate.
One enemy remaining.
Let's go.
How do we win that? How do we win that?
It's the Forsaken.
So different, guys.
We got lineups!
Now we're cooking. Molly.
One enemy remaining.
Open up the sky. Molly. Runner. Down and
So much
out.
better.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, you got. That looks like a hard. Oh, nice.
Last player
Open
standing.
Up the sky. Molly.
No fucking way. I refuse to believe.
No! Oh, we won!
That is not fair. That is not fair.
Clutch. They're losing hard.
Can't be on, can't be on. Nice.
Last player standing. One enemy
Nice.
remaining.
Stim beacon. Yes! One down.
See ya.
One enemy remaining.
Enemy
spotted A. Reloading.
Spike planet. Else ready.
Bye!
Oh, you have a night. Oh my
Go do your
God.
lineup.
Well, you want me to do my lineup right now?
Yeah, let's do it, do it.
No,
do it,
not
do it.
yet, not yet.
Yo, he has to die though. He has to die. Go die. Let him kill you.
Last player standing.
I knifed him once,
Open
so
up
he's
the
low.
sky. Molly.
That should kill him.
You're such a
Yeah,
fucking
let's
nerd.
go.
What?
I love this man already.
Race into the spike site.